Hey, my name is Gaia Athena and today I'm bringing you a book review of Dit is Autisme by Colette de Bruin, and Dr. Fabiënne Naber has helped put this book together with her scientific research. I have Vormg here with me. She seems pretty comfy in the bakery right now, so I don't want to leave and go to the other room where I usually film my book reviews, so I thought do it like this again. It's a bit difficult to get my face in the frame and Vormg and the book. So this is the book Colette de Bruin wrote after she wrote Autisme, which is a book I reviewed recently as well. I love both of them from my library. This book again involves the Geef method, but it talks a bit more about what's going on in the brains of people with autism. The book consists of 10 chapters, and 8 of those chapters are kind of like the 8 like ways autistic brains, like people with autism, their brains like aren't working the same way as people without autism, their brains. And those chapters, so these are the 8 things. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Hello, you wanted to be in the frame too. Like the 8, they call them like disturbances, but I'm not entirely sure if that's the correct translation. So we have processing information in a fragmented way, not recognizing social information, making the wrong connections, respond under or overly sensitive, having difficulty assigning meaning to things, the chaotic saving of information, missing reference frames, I think I should translate it, and not throwing information away. Yeah. And so those are the 8 baselines, and then every chapter, as you can see here, but not as short as it is on these pages, you first start with some examples, then it kind of explains what's going on in the brain, and then here the yellow bit, number 3, it tells you kind of how to handle it, how to help, so like that. It does seem to be mainly be written for people without autism, just like the previous book Autisme. I don't know if you've seen that review or not. So like parent child, or like teacher child, or something like that. There is also mention of adults with autism in here. What I liked about this book, let me see if I can, that it has illustrations. The lighting here isn't that great. I'm sorry about that. I'm still working out the lighting situation. I've seen a lot of booktubers have lights, but to be honest, I have no idea in my country which would be a good light to buy, because there aren't very many like Dutch booktubers around or anything, so I really don't know like what will be a good one. So if anyone has any recommendations for a good light that isn't like extremely expensive, I would love to know, that I can actually buy in my country. So it has a lot of like illustrations, and hello, it talks about puzzle pieces and as bits of information. And oh, are you leaving? Well, it seems my dog wanted to go outside, so that's where she is now. So I'm gonna go and different place then, so we have a bit better lighting. Alright, I would film here, but as you can maybe hear, I've just started some dough in the bread machine, so we can't do it here because that's too noisy. Well, the lighting in here isn't perfect, but yeah. So the book has a lot of illustrations, and I quite like that. It made it more visual, and as the book explains, making things visual is important for people with autism, so the book does have some repetition with the previous book I read by this author, Autocommunicatie, which if you've seen that review, so some of the information here was not new to me, but that's okay. I like the examples in here given. There were a few of the same ones, but also a lot of new ones, as far as I could remember. I liked learning a little bit more in detail of how it works in a person's brain. And I really enjoyed the illustrations that went with it. So these are the 8 things. You can maybe see them a little bit better now. Or not, I'm not sure. And so parts of this illustration keep coming back later on in the book, and then it shows you maybe just a part of it, and like, yeah. It's basically showing a person sorting the puzzle pieces, and yeah, I just really like that. So I found the informational pieces of so the 3 pieces of a chapter, the examples and this is how it works, I found those the most interesting, whereas this is how you deal with it was, in my mind, a little bit of a repetition of the previous book. Which, that's fair enough, they're still using the same method. Just maybe a little bit more in some detail, but it wasn't a whole lot of new for me because I have read the previous book, and of course because, well, as someone who's lived with my own autism for a while, I have, of course, over the course of my life and through the help of many people, learned a lot of things already. So that part for me was not as useful, let's put it that way. I did like to read it though. I like the illustrations. One of the issues I had with the previous book was the term black and white thinking, if you've seen my review. And that term was only used, I want to say maybe once or twice in this book, and otherwise not at all. So that issue bothered me less in this book because it wasn't mentioned much. I really liked the illustrations, and you know, that it just looked visually interesting, which the other book would not so much, and I like that. Not every book should have that, definitely not, but I like, yeah, when a book does have that and it fits with the subject matter or story or whatever book you have, yeah. So yeah, overall I'm glad I read this book. I liked reading it. There was some repetition. Yeah, I think it is a nice companion to the other book. And then of course the first book in the series, which is Geef, which is really the basic book. I'm gonna try and see if I can find it at my library sometime. I don't go to the library a whole lot for various reasons, but maybe sometime when I go there again to loan books, I can try and see if they have that, because I would like to read the basic book, even though I think I kind of now got a lot of the gist of it, but I would still like to read it. So yeah, I liked it. Thank you very much for watching this book review, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!